I wanted to welcome Sylvia Mori to my channel and introduce her and also introduce her card deck that she just finished. So Sylvia has a new deck of cards as we're going to talk about. And Sylvia is in Italy. She's been one of my card reading students for a while now, and she just hustled up and made a deck, which I'm so excited about to have another deck to tell you all about. So nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Thanks for having me.
You bet. All right, so you jumped into making a deck. I didn't ask you to, you just got on it. So what made you excited about making a deck?
Oh, I didn't expect to come up with a deck. I never had this ambition. It just happened that I've started to study cards, and I wished for a lot of free time to study more. So I got laid off of my job and I had plenty of time and a computer. I'm a graphic designer by career. I've been for years. So two and two, you know?
Yeah, simple. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Great. And then your cards are kind of neat. And first of all, one reason I'm excited about them because, as you know, I want to tell everyone, I like certain things on the cards I use. For instance, I don't like the names on the major arcana cards. I just like the pictures. Unless they're really fancy arcanas that are hard to differentiate, then I like having the names. But if they're more classical types, I just say, why have the name? And that way they're kind of more universal. You don't have to know German if the name's written in German, or English if the name's written in English, or Italian. So that's one thing you did. The other thing that's more important even is that I like decks where the face cards aren't double-sided. So if the face cards get cast upside down, we can tell that they're upside down. And playing decks until about the 1870s were all like that. And then they started going to that double-headed design that we have now, which are just no good for casting. So it's nice to have another deck. And then you did some interesting things with the pip cards that I want to talk about with you a little bit. So first of all, let's just cover some of these face cards. Or cards in general. So you did all these on the computer with graphic drawing and everything?
Yes,
okay.
I used Illustrator.
Okay, you did all on Illustrator. Okay.
Yeah.
They came out really neat. And I know that people who've seen them have really liked them so far. I just wanted to show a couple that people can see. Hope that video. So they're kind of like, have a, I don't know, early modern slant to them. So they're not completely medieval, but they have a little bit of a modern but classical look. I think they're a lot of fun. I can't believe you went with the gold, which is really great, because actually the gold etching, like just seeing the letters in gold, sometimes I'm casting it like in a car or something, it's dark, and I can see it better. So it's kind of neat to have the gold etching. Hope we can see all these. So they're really fun, cheery cards, I thought. You know, you look at some cards and you're like, oh, it's scary. But these were like cheerful cards, you know? So I think if someone's looking for a cheerful deck, you know, this is definitely one of them. So the cards are simple, right? I don't see in these face cards anything like other than just a simple king or jack or whatever, different kind of crowns for the jacks, the queens, and kings, which is how I like them. And how I talk about doing them. So that's what you went with, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I went very simple, and I followed this inspiration really.
Good.
Very much.
Yeah, I think the face cards are a lot of fun. You know, the Queen of Clubs, she has her book because she's a smart girl who's, you know, on top of things intellectually. The Queen of Hearts, of course, is holding a heart by her chest, you know, which emphasizes her emotions. Even the King of Hearts I kind of like because, you know, he's kind of cloaked off and he's kind of a step back, you know, which the King of Hearts is like. He's that person who loves you but sometimes has to do the hard love, and you can't let his emotions and care for you override what he's going to actually do, because he's going to do your highest interest, and sometimes that hurts to do. So he has this sort of closed off thing.
Yeah.
I feel like even though they're simple, there's a quality to them. And the Queen of Spades, she's kind of has this detached look and sitting back, and you kind of tell she knows better, and she's even looking down and not getting involved in all the chaos around her. She's just kind of has this, I'm just withdrawn from this and I know better and I'm more centered and I'm not getting involved in all the drama, just like a healthy queen of spades would do. I always say Jack of Diamonds has the most fun. And here's a guy who looks like he's having fun, right? You know, having a lot of fun. So I like that. Jack of Clubs. In general, I say Jacks have the most fun, especially the Jack of Diamonds. Jack of Clubs, he's definitely got more of a philosophical look on his face. I think it's really amazing how much expression you're able to give these guys, considering that, you know, how, you know, did on the computer. And the Jack of Hearts, he's got the long eyelashes. He totally looks like a flirty.
He's very flirty.
Yeah, he totally looks flirty. So I won't go over all of them, but you can definitely see this, you know, these qualities to the cards of there's a mood to each card, even as simple as they are. But I think they're really fun. I remember when I first saw them, I really liked them. Do you want to talk about the face cards at all? Anything special you want to say?
Sure. It's my first attempt on illustrating, like first ever. So I was very surprised myself about how they came out, because what I could see is that the cards would give you an instant idea of what the card is about, as you said, and you can see it in the expression of the face and certain accessories. For example, like 3 buttons for the jacks that they, you know, they energize ace, 2, and 3. So that's something.
Okay, yeah.
Stuff like that are little hints are hidden here and there. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So we have to pay attention to the gold details, basically.
Yeah, they all numerically match with the meanings of the cards.
Okay.
And about the fact that they are like not too serious and colorful. I mean, life is dead. It's not too serious and colorful very much if you want to see colors everywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit like that, and the cards reflect this quality, I think. And I don't know how much intentional it was, but it came out like that.
Okay, great. And when you did these on the computer, I mean, do you actually draw with a pen and it goes onto the computer, or do you like actually create the image with your mouse? How do you actually do the images?
I use the curves from Illustrator. So you have to pin a spot. And here I get lost in translation, sorry. Okay. But I mean, you have to draw spot by anchoring a dot and then creating the curve. Yeah, so it's kind of very much time consuming, but nonetheless.
But you're doing it with your mouse. You're moving curves and bending curves and shapes to get what you want. You
need to find strategic points in order for the curve to come out like smooth. It takes quite a lot of skills, like graphically speaking, to do it like very well. And so it's fun. When you master that, then it's fun.
Yeah, it looks like you had a lot of fun.
Yes, I did, honestly.
Studying cards should not be so much fun. Just joking. Okay, then we have these, the pip cards. And the pip cards have some unusual ones. Where did I put the rest? Oh.
Yes.
Okay, here they are. Okay, so the pip cards, like here's like the 8 of diamonds, pretty simple.
Yes.
Some of the interesting things, like say, there's some different configurations. So you don't have the same configurations that most decks have, like modern playing cards. Now this is pretty similar to 8s, but the 7's different. You want to explain why the 7 doesn't have the center dot, which most modern 7s do?
I would place it like upside down, like that. The idea behind it is that if you take away that a single 7th diamond, then you have the 6 and it's stable. You know, it's pretty square and it goes on a longitude. Okay. Then you place an element of disturbance, quote unquote. So it goes underneath, it shakes the stability, and then when you move on to the 8th, you have stability again.
Okay, gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Okay. And so then in my favorite five, the five of diamonds, you would also put upside down like this too, right?
Yeah, that would be upside down in my view,
This
but
would be the right,
anybody can use.
this is the way it would, again, so it's unstable, it's gonna change because it's
Yes.
rotating on that lower
Yes.
wheel.
So
Okay.
if you place them one next to the other one, you see moving from stable to unstable, stable, and unstable. And by
Okay.
unstable, it doesn't mean changing. You know,
Yeah,
it's just an
exactly.
instant.
Yeah, something's gonna change. Perfect.
Yeah.
And then on my okay, I'll ask that one later. Some of the other differences were like in my favorite heart, the three of heart. We've got like, explain why it's this way for people. I know why, but tell people.
So the two hearts that are close to one another are taken from the two of hearts, like paste, copy and paste, and I placed them on the I looked for the widest distance from the two and the third heart. So it would be in the, I don't know the English for the word. In like, it's not vertical, it's like that. Goes like that.
Yeah. At an angle, yeah.
Yeah, kind of. I think.
And why is the tree way up here? Why are they so far apart?
It's the dramatic way of saying it's flying apart. It's like very dramatic.
Okay, yeah, because
graphically speaking,
have a flying apart quality, right?
Yes.
So so there's a flying apart quality. Yeah, so I thought that was a neat way to do that. And then one of the interesting things is some of the cards, the 9s and the 10s, when you first sent me a demo deck.
Yes.
And I first got that deck and I said, oh, they misprinted these cards. They goofed. They cut off the pips. But then you told me that's how it's supposed to be. So why are these guys losing their heads and their finger toes and things like that?
Okay, for two main reasons. One is practical, and it's graphically speaking. I didn't want to lose the proportion of distance between pips. Okay, so when you have 10 pips, it's a lot of stuff. And if I wanted to keep the same distance, I had to arrange the 10 first, and the pips would be very small, and I didn't want that. And that was the first instance. Then when I was trying to figure out how to arrange it, I was, okay, but 9 and 10 are like a super dimension of life. They're not quite, like they kind of exceed the proportion of life that we know as human beings. You know, it's like when you get there, is you can take the perimeter of the card as one being, okay? And on the 9 and the 10, the experience that we go through are like very much connected to the divine. So the pips, they like bridge between us and the divine. Okay, they touch outside our perimeter.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So
does it make any sense?
Okay. So this is showing that it's going beyond our general human consciousness and awareness.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, very cool. All right, neat. Yeah. Yeah, I remember I got the first deck and I was like, oh, they misprinted these samples. And then you sent me the finished deck and I said, wait a minute. And then I had to ask you what that was. So I'm glad everyone will know. It's neat, no problem. Okay,
I got a call from the printer that he was very worried. Like, there is a mistake. Sylvia, what's going on? And I'm like, go ahead. You're not doing it.
All right, so then you had those cards, you got the cards done. I think you printed those like 3 months ago.
I printed those in June.
June, gosh, time flies. So 6 months ago, you made the deck of 52 playing cards, okay?
In February, back in February.
Back in February, okay. And then the reason we're talking now is because you just sent me a deck of major arcana.
Yes.
So now the major arcana you can buy separately if you want to, right?
Separately or together?
Or you combine, because I see back there you say 74. That's the full combined one, right?
Yes, exactly.
And then you have in the yellow box, that's the 52, right?
Yes, 52. And then there's the major arcana. It's like this.
Okay, so everyone doesn't get them in pretty little bags like this, right?
No. That was because these packagings weren't ready, and I'm sorry. You
No, no, the
understand?
bags are cute. I thought you had them all wrapped up really nice. I thought that was pretty neat because I can keep them in there, you know.
I mean, I gave that one as well,
Okay.
but also with the packaging.
Okay, neat. Great. So again, I think the major arcanas are really neat. I want to spend a little time on them. First, one thing I like, when I teach the cards, I break the major arcanas into the masculine side and the feminine side. And what I like about it is that you have female characters and all the female side ones, and male characters and all the male sided ones. And one of the things I hate about a lot of the modern arcana cards is that they'll mix the genders between the two sides or make them all female or all male. And that's really one of the important things, is to remember which is the male side and which is the female side.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that's not unique, but kind of unique for this day and age, where people kind of confuse their genders. And no pun intended. All right. So
Well,
so some of the cards are pretty easy to tell. Like let's go ladies first and show us these
yeah.
cards. So this is the moon. Oops, that was the moon. Okay, so we got the moon. Oops.
Yeah. Oh.
Gosh, I have some bad moon karma going on today. I'll have to see what's gonna happen. Yikes. Okay. Then, oh yeah, and the moon is kind of neat. It's just a simple, you know, lady on the moon. I like that, and as I talk in my course, my ideal arcana card of the moon is just the moon. Then we have the Empress. No, Empress, right? Or is that the High Priestess? That's the Empress, right?
Empress.
Yeah,
Yes.
and so one of the neat things following, you know, my teachings is that she's holding like two crescents, two moons. And so there's a two quality to her, which is an important quality there. Then this is the star, right?
Yes.
Nice and
With
simple.
the nakshatra.
Yeah, which is the nakshatras, the stars. Very cool. Now, is there a certain amount of stars on her dress? Did you like put a certain amount of stars anywhere?
Oh no, I didn't check, but that's a good thing. We should check.
Well, you'll count them. I'm not going to take everyone's time and count them.
Yeah, no.
Okay, and then we have temperance, nice classical temperance, you know, mixing the liquids.
Yes.
And nice beam of light coming through. I like that.
There are some resemblance with the traditional.
Judgment, right? Or justice, I mean.
No. High Priestess.
What? Oh, High Priestess.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, of course. High Priestess. Okay.
I got it inspired by the Avalon priestesses.
Okay.
Okay, type of thing. So very much in contact with nature also.
Good thing I didn't do a reading for people with this deck yet, because I would have said, you've got justice. Here's justice, of course. I just opened stuff. Yeah. So I just got these majors from you. So justice is simple. She's weighing hearts against diamonds, which is kind of that's a neat thing, because justice being female, of course, is going to have to do with the female suits. Then we got my favorite lady, the devil.
The devil? Yeah, she cut in between the two.
Yeah,
you know,
between the light and the dark. So she's very cool. Good artwork on her. Then we have Death, which kind of looks like someone you want to go play with. He looks pretty friendly.
Yeah, it's my favorite card. It's amazing. I can tell you an anecdote about this card.
Okay.
That I like to say that it made itself, because I mean, this skeleton is not something that I'm very accustomed to, but somehow I managed to make it like all at once, and it was pretty much all there. And I don't know. I mean, it just came out, and it wanted to be alive. I feel like that.
Great. Yeah, it's definitely a fun one. And then we've got the Hanged Man, or the Hanged Woman in this case.
Yes, long hair.
Yeah. Okay. It's kind of neat how she's hanging off the vines. I think the vine is kind of a cool symbol, because, you know, it's important to remember that when we're in a state of having to surrender, we're still growing and life is still continuing. And the vine symbolizes that life. Yeah.
In my thought, it was like if it was in the middle of the lungs, like the leaves like playing as lungs, so it has to breathe. Just
Okay.
relax and breathe.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, very neat. Yeah. And then we have the Fool.
Yes,
So pretty in pink, and she's got butterflies and stepping off. So pretty,
9 butterflies.
9 butterflies because it's the 9th major card, or one of the 9s. And then we have the World.
This is the
No, that's not
Wheel
the
of
World.
Fortune.
The Wheel of Fortune. Okay,
Yeah,
good. Glad I
she
asked.
got up there.
Okay,
She got up there. Yeah.
so she got up there. All right, cool. So she has a spiral where she
Yes.
spiraled up through continuing cycles of fortune to a good place.
And if you notice, if she
Mhm.
stands up, she would exceed the edges of the card. So
Okay,
she in that dimension also. Okay.
okay, gotcha.
And the background is like there is the old cycle from night to sunrise.
Okay, great, great. And the World, I knew that wasn't the World because this one I knew was the World. It was pretty easy. And
It's pretty straightforward, I have to say.
yeah, pretty much looks like the world I'm used to. Okay. So that's perfect. I like that. Just the World. That's what I like on a card.
Yeah, simple.
This must be the Sun.
It is the sun, yeah.
Yes, we got the Sun. Cool. And then we have the Emperor over here.
Yes.
And the Emperor.
It has seeds, flowers, and fruits.
Okay, seeds, flowers, and fruits. How come? Okay.
Seeds, 4 spades.
Okay.
Flowers and fruits, it goes with that discussion that we had about the
Okay.
the
Gotcha.
fruits.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
very nice.
for now, it's like that. But
Okay.
then we will see.
Okay, very good. Then we've got, looks like Strength.
Yes.
All right.
I looked for some action that it was pretty common, like something that anybody can relate to, that needed precision, a tool to use to master. So if you chop the wood, you need to do it like, use the right amount of
Yeah.
strength
No, I
and
think
power.
that's a very good symbol for strength. Because lots of times it really is, when it have to be strong, you really have to just be like this,
You have to,
just have to be strong.
it's like a surgeon. You cannot go like excess.
Okay, perfect. And here we've got the Hierophant or the Preceptor.
Yes, pretty, I don't know, traditional if you want.
Yeah.
I decided to sit him
Okay.
because F4, so it's stable, it's like a little, I don't want to say stuck there, but very much connected to the security paradigm.
Yeah, very good. And also the stability of the 4 of the chair with 4 legs.
Yes, exactly.
Because they have a 4 energy for those people who haven't taken my courses. And here we've got, must be Judgment.
Yes.
No, the Hermit.
So
no,
it's the judgment. It's the right action. So you find there all the male personas. So they all play an action. So with that card, you decide what action is best to take.
Okay, gotcha. Very good.
And the meditation is the ultimate action, if you like. So the Gaia ball meditating.
Okay, very nice. I was a little confused on that one. But yeah, in the old Judgment books, of course, they had the angels up there. And so this has that same flavor of a little yogi up there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then we have got the Lovers, which is sort of a fun card.
Yes. It's like they're very much connected to one another, choosing one another.
Yeah.
Like with nature.
Okay. Then we have my favorite card, the 7, the lightning struck tower.
Yeah. This one is pretty like traditional if you want.
Yeah.
There is the tree. I wanted to place a tree because life goes on, and life, we go on even if the difficulties are there. So
okay, perfect. Great. Yeah. And then we have the Chariot.
The Chariot, yeah.
Yep. Okay.
She's running away. Yeah.
And you got like a Rahu vibe to that for sure, I think. 'Cause,
It is definitely traveling. And if you see the wheels, they draw an 8.
oh yeah, the wheels have an 8. See it there, because this is
Yeah.
8th in the series.
And the reins as well.
And the reins are doing an 8 tool. Perfect. Then we have the Hermit, more classical.
Yes.
And there's that little guy on the bottom corner. What's that?
That's a snail.
That's what I thought. And there's a snail there because snails are cute or because they taste good?
No, this is a snail because it goes slowly.
Okay.
So the hermit has to, withdraw and go, take it easy, basically, go into depth and by detaching from the.
There's no rushing what he's doing, basically.
No, exactly.
Yeah, very good. Nice. Okay. And then we have the juggler.
Exactly.
Or the magician, as it's called more modern wise. I like the word, I like to call him the juggler because that's actually what he is.
That's what he does also.
Yeah, that's what he does.
And if you count, there are 8. I don't know if you want to call it balls or whatever, because the other 2 are in the outside. Same principle.
Cool. So he's got 2 up there in the high ups. Yeah. Okay, neat. So they're definitely a fun deck. It's a comfortable size. Everyone can see. I have big hands, but they're like a nice.
Oh, mine are very small.
Yeah, so show them. Yeah, on a lady's hands, they're like that.
Yeah, I have really small hands, and look.
They're a comfortable size. I would say they're, just for a reference point, they're the size of a lot of the European card playing decks you'll find. The American decks are a little bigger, so it's a little smaller than your bicycle deck or whatever normal playing cards you play at the casino. But they're a really nice, comfortable size. They shuffle well, they spread well. You get a good finish on them. It has it's a slippery, but not so slippery that you drop the cards unless you're destined to drop the card.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Good job on the paper for sure. Yeah, so good job on all that. What else you want to tell? Anything else you want to tell us about these cards?
I don't know. Is that I hope they help people, like in a very productive way. That's all. They could bring healing to people and to, that's all.
Great. And are these the only decks you cast anymore? Or do you cast any other decks when you do readings for people? Or you only use
I'm using those.
Okay, good.
I got myself a tarot deck lately, but I still haven't got into it.
Okay.
but I'm using those. Yeah, I resonate very well with it. So, it's a matter of that. Yeah,
they're definitely a fun deck. And, they're cute. They have a charm to them. They got good colors. And they have guys with, who go upside down. They don't have double-sided kings and queens, which is really nice. Then for people who want to see the back, this is the back you're still using, right?
For now, yeah.
Because you had a different back in the prototype you sent, I think. So
yeah, then you might have the Major Arcana back for the people that buy only the Major Arcana. I made this back.
Okay, gotcha. And so I want to explain a few things, or maybe you want to explain so that people can see you and see your cards more than see me. Okay, why do we have it where you sell the major separate? Because usually a tarot deck you only get all cards, majors and pip cards all in one, but you're selling it as an option of just majors, just pip cards, or a combined. So why do we have those options?
Because like students of your wonderful Cards of Truth, we can use only the deck, the 52 deck, and it works fine, just fine. If you want to combine the Major Arcana, then it's up to you. So I didn't want to force it into people, so I made it available like that into actually 3 options like that. Yeah, basically it's about that.
Great. Yeah, and what I do, just so people know, I only cast pretty much with the pip cards now, the 52 card deck. Sometimes I will do a reading with just the major, and then I just want these separate actually. And usually I use my big Visconti cards. I think they're big, and when I do a major spread, I only use a few cards. I like having a few big cards. Well, I found these are great for because they're so compact. They're like a good traveling size. Keep in the wife's purse. So, hey, give me those cards, you know, if you need them. But they're really nice, compact travel size because those other cards are literally, they're literally like this big. You know, they're just too
Yeah,
big to take
yeah,
with. But that's why I use
especially if you,
people because they're very big and dramatic, and I only cast maybe 5 cards when I do a major spread at most, either 2 or 5, depending on what spread I'm doing. Then usually I just use these. Again, these are a compact deck, which is one of the things I like about them. It's a really good size, I think, and they're fun. So I hope that people get into these who want something different. I'm so happy to have 2 decks now that have come from my students, and there'll be another one coming soon, I think. So it's pretty exciting to see all these little artists, or not little artists, but you know, artists making little decks for fun. So you also do readings there in Italy, right? But in English too, to English people, English speaking people too.
yeah, both Italian and English.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us about anything about your reading experiences? You want to tell us any stories or anything about your readings or your experience with the cards, or even your experiences with the cards, so we can know you a little bit more?
Sure. I can tell you that I got into cards after a year from the first time that I saw an introductory video you made about the software, Cards of Truth.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, this is for crazy people.
Okay, good. You qualify.
And I just ignored it. And I went on with Vedic astrology only. And then I don't know what happened. It was time, maybe. I went crazy with it. I have to say, I went like full on.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's incredible how effective and precise it is. Not, yeah, the software is, you have to be built for it, I think, because it really takes you for a ride. You have to be prepared. It's amazing. Okay. But also the casting cards, I wouldn't ever expect it to be so, how can you say this? It works.
Yeah.
I mean, you cast cards and you think like you made up stuff, and then people come back to you and say, "Oh no, you were so right." And I always go like, "Really?" I really find it to be impressive how detailed, and this is a credit to you, because I think you nailed so well the archetypes that you don't need to give so much detail, like to get into the detail of life per se. But if you stay on the psychological level, it's easy to make sense of things, basically. And I'm really thankful for you being what you are, that you came up with this, because it's amazing.
Yeah, well, you know, people, of course, been doing card readings for a long time. I just taught it in a little different way, a little more conceptual way. But I totally hear what you're saying, is that, you know, there's a magic to doing Vedic astrology and, you know, reading the horoscope and everything. But, you know, that seems very scientific. You get their birth date, you calculate their chart. But when you're casting cards, when I do card readings, it feels much more magical to me. I mean, I really feel like, okay, this is magic. With astrology, science, with this, it's like it's magic because the cards are following in a magical way. The interpretation is still scientific, but the cards are magically following. And so there's definitely a feeling I'd love from reading cards. Yeah.
It's amazing. So seriously, I'm lost for words, and it's not just, you know, to be nice to you. It's seriously something that it's worth mentioning, that we can share archetypes with people, then the reader makes himself. You cannot teach anybody to read.
That's true.
Because you cast cards and an idea sparks, and sometimes I don't know why I say something, and it wouldn't even make so much sense, but then it's all in there, and feedbacks are good. So it's very encouraging.
Great. And how much are you doing Vedic astrology now? Are you still doing Vedic astrology, or only doing cards?
I'm doing cards because I think, I don't know, I'm on a King of Clubs year, so I don't know if I'm gonna take on board much more stuff. But I feel like I'm new since the first day to the Vedic astrology. It's such a immense endeavor.
Yeah, it's
Seriously.
huge. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on to the Lajitadia Vashta course and the
Okay.
Rahu and Ketu. So
Yeah. Well, what's neat about the cards is that the cards are like this very narrow study, very narrow, but you can see very far.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
what I love
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the cards, every time I talk about cards with somebody, every time I do a reading, I see something a little further down that narrow view than I did before. And you keep going deeper and deeper and deeper, but you don't have to learn a lot more stuff. You don't need, you only need to learn this much stuff. And every time with what I know, I understand more and learn more and can predict more and see more. So it's like never ending in the direction you can go with it. Whereas astrology is like this big, giant thing that you start here and it grows and it grows and it grows and it grows and it grows. And it's such a broad study. It never ends in breadth. But it also never ends in depth either. So with astrology, you can just get a narrow study and just take that deeper and deeper and deeper, like with the cards. But then there's always these other things nagging you to learn this and learn this. So it becomes so broad. But then you need to go
Yeah,
just as deep. So it's just a whole nother dimension. But what I like about the cards, because it's a narrow study, you only have one place to go. And that is deeper and deeper and deeper. And it's always better to go deep with something narrow than to go superficial with something broad, right? And that's what,
absolutely.
yeah,
You
when
you
I
you
started
miss
doing,
the tree for the forest.
when I started doing cards, a lot of people would tell me, oh, you need to promote your courses more. You need to get more students with my Vedic astrology. You need to get this out in the world. And I said, why? I said, this Vedic astrology is not for everyone to study. You have to be a crazy person to study Vedic astrology. You have to be crazy about studying and philosophy. There's no reason to even promote any of this. People will show up who are twisted in the right way to become an astrologer.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and twisted in a beautiful way. I just like to be a little sarcastic. But when I started teaching the cards, I'm like, cards is something I would like to teach in every school to every person in America, in the world, because they're so simple and everyone can gain so much from a short card study that can really change their lives without getting overwhelmed and confused. And I feel cards is something that everyone should know. And everyone believes in cards in a way. Everyone plays with cards. Um, people will say, oh, that wasn't in my cards, or you're not playing with the full
Yeah,
deck.
yeah.
So we have these expressions in our language that show that people are attached to cards, and they're used by magicians. So they have a magical symbolism to them, and they're also used in gambling. So with cards, there's this idea that okay, I can be lucky if cards are a symbol of luck too. So there are a lot of the things that people are looking for. So I just love it. I'm so glad you did another deck, because I find with decks, everyone has their own taste, and everyone needs to find a deck that they like.
Yeah, you need
Yeah.
to resonate with it. You
Yeah.
cannot work with unless
Yeah. And at different times, people like different decks.
absolutely. Yeah,
I went through lots of tarot decks. This is my favorite deck. Now this is my favorite deck,
yeah.
So I got a whole pile of decks now, and I don't like any of them. I only use these cards now, or not this exact deck, but I play with pips. I use playing cards now instead of tarot cards. But so that changes. So I hope more people follow and make more decks, because everyone needs a deck that they like, and everyone needs more than one deck.
No, and I can say by experience that making one deck, it's a huge journey.
Oh yeah.
It's unbelievable, because you have to dig into the archetypes, and the energy is always around you, and I got inspirations where I didn't think I would, and it took the right time. I couldn't have done it before. And I don't know if this is only the first. Maybe, I don't know, something is gonna follow.
You might do another one. Hopefully, that would be great. there was a school, a Tarot school called Builders of the Adityam, and they were quite a famous, I think they're still around, school for teaching Tarot. And one of the things they required everyone to do is to paint their own Tarot deck. But
Right.
they gave them, you basically bought a deck that you had to paint. So it was all the symbols were there, but you had to paint them all, and they were very specific about what the symbols meant and so on. But even just painting that deck was like a journey, but it doesn't compare to the journey of actually making a deck. And I really think everyone should conceptualize a deck at some point. They don't actually have to make it and produce it, but in their minds, they should conceptualize a deck to get deeper into the cards. It's a really good final practice, let's say. It's a good thesis, you know, for
Absolutely.
a card reader. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Oh,
Okay, good. So you are doing readings on
yes.
Skype and things like that for cards. Okay,
Yes.
great.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, I'll put your details down in case somebody wants to have a reading with you. And
Thanks.
you're actually just started teaching this in Italy too, right? The cards in Italy?
Oh, yeah. Surprisingly enough, this
Okay.
crazy 2018. I've been asked, so I have students now.
Okay, good, good. Let's hope that some more card readers show up in Italy then. And what town? What town are
Pardon?
you in?
Ancona, on the east coast, opposite Croatia, like on the seaside.
Oh, okay, very neat. Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, cool. Thanks for coming and showing your deck, or letting me show your deck.
Thank you for doing this.
My
Much
pleasure.
appreciated.
Okay, keep in touch. You take care.
You take care. Thank you. Bye bye, everybody.
All right.
As a special, until the 31st of January, I'll be emailing a PDF file version of this calendar with every purchased deck